Could you please introduce yourself and your journey to getting to where you are today?
Sure. Hey, Rishi. So my name is Chetana Movva. I'm currently a rising sophomore at Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm double majoring in biology and neuroscience with concentrations in research. And I currently serve as the Postsecondary Collegiate Vice President for Global National HOSA on the International Executive Council. As far as my journey, I started HOSA back in my freshman year of high school, and my first event was health education. So that was definitely a learning experience, and I grew a lot from that. But moreover, HOSA served as my very first introduction to healthcare. And honestly, as a freshman who didn't really know much of anything, it was very inspiring to see education combined with all of the things that healthcare can one day provide for me and for the rest of the world. And that was very inspiring. So that is kind of the path I decided to take throughout high school. And I just kept on competing in events. So sophomore year, I did forensic science with my partner. And then junior year, I did this was during COVID. Junior year, I did job seeking skills. And finally, senior year, I decided to really test myself out, and I decided to try prepared speaking. And I also ran for Florida HOSA state office that year. And I competed alongside you, Rishi, you are also a phenomenal public speaker, and I have so much to learn from you. But that is essentially where my journey started. And Florida HOSA State Office this past year, so I won. And then Florida HOSA State Office this past year was one of the most meaningful experiences I've ever experienced. And growing alongside my team was so incredibly rewarding to me as a person, a friend, a leader, a public speaker, a student, all of the above. And I learned how to effectively manage my time, communicate, and also manage myself better and who I want to be within the years to come. I've realized that leadership is an essential part of who I am and who I would like to be. And I think that education combined with leadership and healthcare provides some really exciting opportunities for the future. And so that's kind of where my HOSA journey has led me to. And finally, I took the chance at the very end of this past year to run for HOSA International Executive Council. And thankfully, from the support of Florida and from all of the United States and other chartered associations across the world, my dream was turned into a very surprising reality. So incredibly thankful for that experience and very ecstatic for this year with my team. And I love them. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of where my journey is at right now.
Wow, your journey is extraordinary, and the ambition you had throughout the way is amazing. I mean, in just a couple of years, you started from competing at like a lower level, and all of a sudden, you just went up and up and up. So I remember when I was competing for the prepared speaking competition, people were like, "Chetana Mova's against you. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. There's no way you're gonna be here. You gotta work really, really hard if you want to do that." And you set the impression from day one, and your ambition was extraordinary. And now all of a sudden you're hosting International Executive Council, which is extraordinary. And throughout that journey, I was wondering, what do you think is the most important value that you've picked up?
That's a really good question, Rishi. I think the most important value I've picked up is the value of truly, truly challenging yourself and pushing yourself more than anything. I think that this image always comes to mind when I think of why exactly we challenge ourselves. And I don't know if you've ever watched like Hercules or something, but essentially there's this one scene where they show the web of lives that each person can take as they make different decisions. And so I always think about it like this. So I could either push myself now, and then there is an infinite web of opportunities that surround that choice, or I can continue on my current path where I'm comfortable, and that only allows for, again, those many options, and these two never coincide. And I just think about, I'm literally missing out on a completely different life if I don't decide to push myself now. And I think that there's so many, like, that really changed my perspective from a young age, not because of Hercules, but just generally, that's just how I like to think about it. And thinking on it now, I realize that pushing myself and really just trying new things that I really never even thought fathomable was the best thing I could do for myself as a student, and as a person, as a friend. I've just grown so much because I decided to challenge myself. In the context of public speaking, if you told me in high school, this sounds so cliche, but if you told me in high school that I would be on IEC now, I would actually laugh so hard. Because the very concept to me of having a leadership position, having the honor of having this leadership position, was just unfathomable. It wasn't even something that I could wrap my head around. And to be honest, I still really can't. But I've known that hard work, in addition to ambition, is one of the most powerful things that a person can do. And that goes for their own goals, and that goes for really everything they want to accomplish in the context of their academics, extracurriculars, relationships, no matter what. And so I think pushing yourself is one of the biggest things that I've learned, and something that I will continue to do, and something that I hope to exude as the years go on.
That is amazing. Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. Ambition is very important, and working hard and pushing yourself is very, very important. As you mentioned, you've been a phenomenal leader in many, many levels, and now even at the international level this year. So I was wondering, what is the importance of confidence in your leadership and in life in general? And what do you recommend to teenagers who desire to attain confidence?
Developing confidence on your own is something that can be a very difficult skill, but I think it derives so much from having confidence in your abilities over anything else. Work hard to make sure your abilities are so strong that no one can tear them down, and work hard and build confidence in your abilities to the extent that you know you are good at something. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, especially in the context of, like, really anything that I want to have confidence in. I tell myself I'm good at this and I can do it. And there's really no way else other than that. Just going forward and just knowing that you are good at something is so powerful, because then other people can see it too. You have to believe something in order for other people to believe it. And so I think that's one of the biggest things I learned, but it was also very difficult to learn that. So be kind to yourself and know that your abilities will develop over time. And that's why it takes a lot of time to develop confidence in your abilities. Obviously looks fade, and everything external becomes obsolete when you're talking about your qualities that you bring to the table. And in the context of teams, in the context of this is who I am as a person, hire me, or accept me to your school. Confidence is exuded in every single part of your personality whenever you're talking to someone, whenever you're interacting with anyone. And so knowing that you have confidence in your abilities is something that everyone will see after you develop it yourself. And be kind to yourself. It's not an easy journey to get there, but eventually it will work out, because it will, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. That's a really good answer, and I 100% agree with that. Confidence is something where everyone has their own journey to it, but at the end of the day, they kind of learn the same lesson. It's where you believe in yourself and tell yourself that I can do this, because if you believe in yourself, then other people listen to you. But then you also work so hard. At the end of the day, you're gonna win. You're gonna get the job done, and that's what confidence plays a part in. And another thing confidence plays a part in is public speaking. And I've had the honor of seeing your public speaking in person, and it is extraordinary. So I was wondering, how did you develop your public speaking skills, and what do you recommend to teens who are looking to develop their public speaking skills?
I think public speaking is a very unique thing to every single person. If you ask everyone on my Florida team who I've gotten to know their public speaking skills pretty well, everyone's style differs a little bit. And honestly, for me, it's really fun to see because Jackson was our previous president. His public speaking style is very different to mine, but also we have a lot of similarities. And I think that the best way to develop anyone's public speaking skills truly is to practice. And I know this sounds cliche and I know it's overdone, but it's overdone for a reason, right? Practice makes perfect. If you practice your tone of voice that you like to use. Where are you comfortable? Where are you comfortable using your hands? Where are you comfortable standing? How are you comfortable with asking different questions, communicating one-on-one, or like I said earlier, to thousands? What is your sweet spot? And finding that truly is the secret to public speaking with confidence, with poise, and you're able to garner so much attention if you just stick to what you do best. That being said, push yourself. Doing what you do best is not only something that, oh, I did this yesterday good, so I'm going to do this tomorrow good, and I'm just going to keep sticking with it. No, try different things. And for me, I've realized that my public speaking style is very optimistic and it's also very big pictured. And I like to think of the big picture whenever I'm talking to large audiences. It helps me realize and hopefully helps the audience realize what exactly I'm here to do. What do I bring to the table? And I truly believe that I think I bring a big picture sort of attitude. I bring a positive attitude, and I'm honestly very optimistic about the future of healthcare, medicine, and all that education can help to accomplish. And so that's probably where I learned my public speaking from. It was just where I was very passionate about. And so let those passions speak to you, and don't fight anything and don't try to mimic anyone else's style. Just do what you like. And then that will carry through because everyone can see your passion when you speak. So that's probably one of the biggest tips I would say for public speaking. Practice, say what you love, exude what you love. And on top of that, just have confidence in the thing that you love. And all of those things together will put together a very captivating performance from your part, and everyone's going to want to watch you speak. And that in itself is going to and knowing your sweet spot especially is going to help you have those stage skills that a lot of people associate public speaking with. But in truth, public speaking goes both ways, very small audiences and very large audiences as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. I would say that's spot on, and that's actually really ironically similar to what I've told a lot of people like myself. And I 100% with you, because I for example, one person, I was at a summer camp and there was a public speaking course, and there's a kid and he didn't want to do public speaking, but I pushed him. I was like, you got to do it. He was like, there's nothing I can talk about. I'm not good at public speaking. I'm shy. I'm just kind of like the math, 1600 SAT type of kid, but I don't want to go and give public speaking and all of that. And I pushed him and he was like, fine, I'll do it. But then when he was come to picking his topic, he decided to talk about planes, because he was someone who's he's flown planes, and he loves planes. It's 17 years old. I think he was flying solo planes and stuff.
Wow,
So
that's insane.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was something that's so unique to him. I said, you have to go and just talk about this and your journey with this. And he went up there, he pre-practiced and all of that, but with basically no pass in public speaking, he gave one of the best speeches I've ever seen. And he's a very introverted kid. But because he was so passionate about that topic, he was able to go up there for 5 to 10 minutes and talk about his passion, and it just exuded confidence and he exuded passion. And that's why I'm exactly with you on that point that you said. And additionally, I know that you said that you've been elected as the vice president for HOSA, the HOSA International Organization. So I was wondering, how do you manage your time? Because you've done that, but you're also in college. You've done a lot of stuff. I was wondering, how do you manage your time and do all of this at the same time?
Oh, Rishi. Okay, so great question. I'll give you a very tentative answer. So managing my time has been one of my biggest struggles to date. If you know me from high school, you know that I was a chronic procrastinator. I would procrastinate on everything. If it was 11:59, I would do 11:59. Like not even 11:58, 11:59. And I just realized in college was my biggest transition. And it's also just shout out to Florida HOSA. I was scared out of my mind to be late. Like that was the one thing that they drilled into me, being so early is on time is late, and late is left behind. And so I learned that this past year, and in conjunction with my college courses, which were a bit rigorous, and just like learning to like adult on my own. I kid you not, I had no time management. I it was very difficult for me to find my footing, but eventually I realized it had to be done. There was no option for me to not manage my time properly. And so now I can say that with some tweaking here and there per week, like not every week is going to be the same, not every month is going to be the same, but planning ahead of time, especially for when I had to travel this past year, it conflicted a lot with my lab schedules, and that's something that's not easy to reschedule for NSU at least. So that was something that I had to manage, and then on top of that, like studying finals and like, do I cram? Do I not cram? Can I go to this HOSA thing? Am I able to go to this the regional conference, or do I have to study? And that was like always something that weighed down on me, because I wanted to do both. I wanted to be able to have more hours in the day, but it simply wasn't possible. So eventually what happened was I became addicted to using my iPad religiously for everything. And I literally plan every single part of my day on my iPad. And I very satisfyingly like cross out everything that I've done for the day. And I plan this out like weeks in advance. So whenever I know I have something coming up, I'll make a new calendar for the month, or for the next week or whatever. I'll duplicate it, and then I'll just like write in what I have for, okay, next Friday I have to do this. And then I'll plan. So like, okay, if on Friday I have to do this, then on Wednesday I have to prepare for it. And on Monday I have to like get everything ready for it. And so I would just write that in, and then I have it so that it's like Monday through Sunday and like every single week. So then I go like, it's very detailed. But hopefully you get the gist. I just essentially planned ahead, and use my iPad religiously. A lot of my peers will say Google Calendar is their best friend. I'm going to try to get into that this year. But yeah, that's essentially where it came from. And just essentially communication was the biggest thing. Communicating with my team, my professors, my friends, my roommates, everything combined helped me to manage my time better, especially if I wasn't going to be there for something, or if I needed to leave or something like that. Essentially all those things. But yeah, just knowing where my priorities were. Education is always first. HOSA comes second. But a lot of times it would have to be a 50-50, and just, prioritizing my time and my education versus like tests and stuff like that, and responsibilities. So yeah, you give and you take.
No, that's great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the exact same page with you here. My time management is not amazing, but I think I do something very similar. I use the OneNote on my computer, and I just write down exactly what I'm doing. But I have to write like 7:15 to 7:23. I'm doing this, and then at 7:24 I'm crossing it out and moving on to my next thing. If I'm not doing that, I'm messing up. I'm like losing track of my entire day. But I think that's something that's helped me a lot from my time to gain time management skills, is just writing down exactly what you're doing and crossing it off.
And
So
like time blocking, that helps.
yeah, it does. It really
I do
does.
that for final season. Yeah, I'm like 6 to 6:30, you're doing the review guide, and then nothing else.
Exactly.
No food, just Celsius.
So we're gonna end it off with a very vague question. So what would you say is your secret to success?
Oh my gosh. My secret to success. You make me sound a lot better than I actually am. Um, okay. I would say my secret to working towards success is having a constant motivator. And for any of you that might be watching, I don't care what that is. If you are trying to beat your cousin, go do that. Like, I don't, no judgment here. Whatever your motivator is, go do that. And it could be, you know, having your dream school on your phone case, on your lock screen, or it could be like having your dream school in like on in a banner in your room, or I don't know, beating your friendly competition friend if you're like that, or whatever it may be. Have a constant motivator and keep it with you. And I mean, genuinely in close proximity to you. You are going to be reminded all the time that this is your goal and this is what you have to work for. And how are you going to incorporate steps into your day every single day to get to that goal? And I can't like tell you enough how much this has helped me within the past couple years, knowing that I have a goal in mind and I have to reach this certain caliber in order for me to feel satisfied. That is what has helped me. And for many of you, that could be very different. For me, it's like it might be a dream school, or it might be like I want to get into med school so that I can be a doctor and help so many people. I want to be an author so I can help so many people and share my experiences. So those are some motivators for me. But for you, it might be different. And for me, it's it's extrinsic, but it's also intrinsic. It's like a good balance. You have to have the extrinsic motivation of something that I want to achieve, but the intrinsic motivation to make it happen, if that makes sense. So it's a good balance. And I would say that's one of the secrets, not really a secret, to working towards my success.